but I could not avoid to have some contacts with Georgian authorities on what regards violence against women and the implementation of the new Convention on Violence Against Women and Domestic Violence. And because of that, I have to leave the room at 12:30. I have a meeting with Mrs. Mari Mesh. But I believe some of you will be in a meeting with me tomorrow morning exactly for this purpose of talking about violence against women. But so as I have to leave at 12:30, I would like to make some comments now about what has been said. And I would start, if you don't mind, by one of the latest questions is how to do to strengthen the capacities of women when they want to become involved in politics. And I would like to tell you two examples, because of course one thing is the political will, the other thing is there exists enough money to finance those activities of the building capacities of women to get into politics. Let me just give you two specific examples. One in the United States. There is what they call Hemily. Hemily means early money is like YEST. It's an American organization that raises funds to empower women on skilling. So it means like they organize seminars, conferences, courses, just to teach women and also to promote their candidacies. So they raise money in favor of women when they inside the party, if they have to campaign for themselves. So this is an organization only to finance women to campaign for themselves and to build their own capacities. If we come to Europe, just one of the examples that I know, a practical example, is in Sweden, where the Swedish Moderate Party is dedicating 2.5% of the public funds. You know, the political parties, they get from the state funding according to the number of members in the parliament. So this party is putting the part 2.5% only for capacity building activities regarding women in politics. So these are two nice examples. One in America overseas, where the campaign itself is subsidized by, this is an organization outside of the parties, and that is what is interesting, because they are not connected, not to the Republicans, not to the Democrats. They are a civil society fundraising organization, and they favor women, doesn't matter where they are. If they are in the Democrat Party, and if they want to run for something inside the Democrat Party, this organization subsidizes this campaign. So this is an interesting example. The other is in Sweden, and I know there are other parties, many parties in Europe. For example, the first party in Europe that had its own women's organization inside the party was the Labour Party in the United Kingdom. And this organization is very strong, and it's on the basis of the initiative a couple of years ago, where everything was changed, because you know in England there is this system, electoral system, majority. That means, well, it's a little bit unfair. I think you have a more fair system, because you have mixed. You have the national circle and you have the majority circles local. The problem is, in the United Kingdom, for instance, a party that probably had 18% of the votes, 20% of the votes, like the Liberal Democrats, many times they could not even be represented in the parliament, because normally the two main parties, which were the Labour and the Conservative, they were getting all the first positions. The first past the poll, as that's the system there. So, and the third political party could never win, because the two first, they were dividing all the positions. But just to tell you that the Labour Party and the organization of women in the Labour Party was responsible some years ago for a big change when the Labour Party decided to run a lot of women and all women lists, short lists. What we mean short lists because in those majority there is the candidate and there is the substitute. So, and sometimes the candidate is a man and the substitute is a woman. Normally the woman gets always the post of substitute. And at that time, by suggestion of the women's organization of the Labour Party, they ran with a lot of women in both positions, effective and substitute, in a lot of constituencies, and they managed to elect about 130 women in a row. And that was the main big change. After that, even the Conservatives, they also took some measures on that regard. So, I have taken notes also in some. So this is regarding the preparation. It is possible, but it's needed also that the political parties, they have their own organization of women inside. It was mentioned that the parliament is moving from Tbilisi to more than 200 kilometers. That is even worse. I am a very decentralizing person. I don't like the big capitals, I don't like the big cities concentrating all the big majority of the population. But look, this is one example where you have a complete opposite reverse result. What do I mean? The majority of the population normally is in the capital, so the majority of women is also in the capital. If the women to be elected, they are going to be displaced 200 kilometers, that will affect them even worse. So they are penalized twice, because they are women and because they are mothers, or they have to take care of children. It's a decision. It's also affecting men, but it affects it more the women. Because if normally it's already difficult for women to be in politics and to be a head of family, now if the place of the parliament is 250 kilometers from Tbilisi, all the women that could be elected in Tbilisi will have a double difficulty. So I don't know if that decentralization it will have a good result. So let me just check if I have something else.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah, I wanted just to add something here, because I can't tell you the name of the person who spoke. Educo committee, Educo. He mentioned that women they are very successful on the peace negotiations. And that is being recognized. Our assembly in the Council of Europe, we have already approved a resolution in favor that women integrate more the peace negotiation committees or delegations, because it's proved when women include those peace negotiation committees, the success is even more rapid and even bigger. So they are really capable people. 2 years ago, there was an inquiry, a study, a research in France, and all the companies in the called CAC 40, that means the 40 best companies in the stock exchange market, all the ones that have a more equal gender balance inside the top positions, and not only in the administration board, but also in the hierarchy, the ones who are more balanced are the ones who are more profitable. This has to mean something. So it's good to have. I'm not saying that women are more clever than men. No. Look, talent has no gender. Intelligence has no gender. I don't believe in that. Maybe we can say one is lazier than the other. Maybe we can say. But we cannot say they are more talented or they are more capable. I mean is when you balance and you have men and women in an organization, in a delegation, in a committee, the results are better. And this was studied in France with the CAC 40. This is an economic argument very, very good, because many people, they are not sensitive to all the argumentation in favor of gender equality, but they are sensitive to money in the pocket. So if we tell them, look, the company will be much more profitable, but it's a lot more profitable. Those results, it was about 40% more than the others who were not balanced on equality. and gender equality. So this is also something, when we deal with violence against women, it's always also one of the arguments for the people who are reluctant to all the human rights arguments and to all the humanitarian arguments, is violence against women means about 2% of the national gross income. 2%. We are spending money from our pockets every year. I'm talking about the Council of Europe member states, 47, the large Europe. And this calculation is about more than 550 euros per capita we are spending. Why are we spending? Because women, when they are aggressive, it means more hospital care, it means more pharmaceutical care, it means more jobs more work for the police station, more work for the courts, more work for the judges, more work for the social assistance. It means everything, and that costs money. Why should I pay from my pocket because my partner wants to aggress a wife? This is not fair. People should revolt them against this. So I wanted also to bring the economic argument to gender equality on the accession of women to all the leading positions in the society, not only in the political parties, but also in the economic part, in the social part. And that is it. It's 12:30. So it was very, very nice for me to meet you. Please, I ask you a favor. Give your cards to Madame Guillaume, to me. I want a collection of all your cards so that we can get in touch. I'm the General Rapporteur for Violence Against Women in the Council of Europe. That's why I'm also having a double agenda here. We are making a big effort together with the NGOs in order to put in force the convention. The convention means many millions of lives. Doesn't mean all, but it's a start. As I said, we can have a convention approved, but if it's not implemented, it's a dead paper. But if we don't have it approved, we cannot demand that it's really going to be implemented. And it's important for you Georgians. I will say this tomorrow also. You excuse me just a little bit.